Okay. Yep. The recording is on. The bonus activity on project procurement framework cannot be answered. I don't really. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Let me check now. Righty. Because I'm also teaching the MSCEM project management class also at the same time in during the semester. So that was a master's class. I think I must have mixed up the two of you, your side and their side. That happens sometimes. On bonus activity 2, right? Bonus activity 1, let me check. Yep, bonus activity 1, I've got 54 people already posted something. Okay. I'm still waiting for the, not sure, that one I don't know if there's any closing time for it. Okay, but I think those of you who want your marks, bonus activity 1, it is not what you call, it's not a pair. So it you cannot depend, it's not like your assignment is a pair work. This one you have to answer it yourself. So if you don't answer it, you have no marks. Okay, edit question. To lupa simpan question. It's a very simple question, but it's really for bonus lah, honestly lah, huh? It's available until end of the year, okay, 31st. So you guys still have time to answer it. And then okay, username, yes. Okay. Okay, right. Display. Okay, it's there already. You go and check if you can answer. I will set up another bonus question. There will be 3 bonus question now. And yeah. Okay. All right. The bonus activity actually tells us to list down all the cycles in the project procurement framework. So you will see that if you go through my thing, you will see the cycle. Okay. Then the question itself, Yeah, I didn't provide a space for you all to answer. Okay, now we got it, huh? Okay, all day already. No issue. All right. Elip wise, let me check. Let me see if I'm missing. What am I missing at the moment? Okay. Okay, procurement management overview notes I've given you already. And today we're going to follow on with the rest of the procurement class. LU10, I think I haven't finished uploading the notes. Just double check. You all can hear me? No issue. Can somebody indicate, because I'm using my new laptop, you see, so like I said, my old laptop actually died off, very die. So this one my new laptop, so I'm not sure sometimes whether the sound, speaker systems, everything is on. Okay, good. See a lot of hands, thumbs up. Okay, so in eLip, let me share the slide. Okay. Okay, so in eLip at the moment, week 10, there's quality management. So quality management, the notes I haven't posted up. Okay. Then procurement, I haven't posted up the rest of the notes is today. And then of course we're gonna have risk management, which is on LU12. Okay. So LU12 is risk management. This is the things that I owe you. Okay, I owe you risk management notes, which we have gone through last Friday. So there will be no recording. Okay, and procurement overview notes. Yes, there will be today's class punya notes that I will have to give you, and the quality management notes. So there are 3 notes that I haven't posted up yet. Okay. Yeah, I better put it here so that everyone can see. Quality management notes, okay, quality management notes, okay, for LU10. Then the risk management notes, LU12, and then of course today's rest of the procurement notes and recording. Okay, so please refer to the chat box here. I put down what is missing in eLip. That I will do that before Christmas, which is tomorrow when I'm back at the office. Okay. Yeah, but tomorrow is my last day at the office until the end of the year. If you need to see me or anything like that, please either you stop by tomorrow anytime. If you want to see me on Thursday, I'm not going to be in, but I can actually reply messages and all that, and also email and all that. So up until Christmas Day, I still can reply your emails and all that. Okay, but after Christmas Day, I can only start replying email after 31st, on the 31st onwards, because I'll be out of the country, overseas. So not to say that overseas no line, just that there will be a few days that I will be completely out of line. Okay, which is somewhere middle of nowhere lah. Okay, so like 27, 28, 29, 30th. Yeah, these few days I will be completely off contact at all. That is my understanding now. Huh? So I can't check email, or I can't check email, I can't check WhatsApp. You all just have to, you still can WhatsApp me, you still can, I think better email me, huh? If I can find Wi-Fi, I will reply. If I can't, then I'll have to reply you after 31st. So 31st will be the 25th will be the last day I can reply, and 31st will be the first day that I can reply anything. Okay, so that will be our arrangements. And you know what? I'm so totally, like, completely miscalculated this time. I don't know why. Okay, I'm actually on week I'm actually on week 12 material. There will be quality safety management by Dr. Sukri this Friday and next Monday. Then when I come back on 2nd, we will also go online, because we are requested to go online for everybody. That is a rule, I think, something like a rule. So we will have online classes on 2nd, and I will start off with construction management. Okay, and then when Friday, Monday, I will do construction management, which is on the 2nd, and the 5th, I'll do construction management. And then I realized that that is the end of the semester already. And I am like, what? I really thought that I have another week. So I need your help. I really need your help. I need you all to attend an online class with me on the 12th of January. Okay. Would that be an issue with anyone at the moment? 12th of January, which is a Monday. Okay. I think I can only wrap up everything on the 12th of January because on 9th of January, I will be starting with contract management. And I think contract management is not going to be so easy for me to just give you pre-recorded lecture and bye-bye, and you know, I cuci tangan, So it's better for me to do another class. That is already your study week, but I think we can do an earlier class, maybe like, I don't know, 10 or something, or 11, maybe 11 or 10, as early as possible, because I don't want to disturb your study week. And I'm sure you've got a lot of assignments and blah, 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 and all that kind of things that you need to hand in at that point in time. So I try to not as much kacau you all. So on the 12th, when I see you, I mean, like next Friday, I will still see you online. We can still talk about the date, but please, class monitor or whoever you are here, can you just put in your group and tell everybody that we are going to have an online class, online class on the 12th of January to catch up on our last bit of the syllabus. And that's the day that I will give you exam tips and all that. Okay. All right. So thank you, Najiha. All right, so you inform the rest just to book the time. Let's at the moment go for 10:30, and it may last for 3 hours. I don't know. I just need to finish contract management with you so that you can sit for exams. Okay, so we may finish at 1 p.m. Okay, 1 p.m. Maximum 1 p.m. lah, huh? Maximum. Okay. All right, so let's not waste time now. Let's quickly start our syllabus today, and then everybody can go back and start to prepare for your Christmas. Some of you. Let me get the notes out, huh? And now. Today is on procurement. Procurement overview. It's my procurement. Oh, you're here. Right. Let me also book up my rest of the notes as well. Okay, right. All the notes are open. Okay. Right, so I think if you have gone through my lecture in online, the 6 recording, I've essentially covered the different procurement method as well. Okay, so actually the whole 2 weeks class on procurement management is based on this core cycle lah, requirement cycle, requisition cycle, solicitation cycle, award cycle, and contractual cycle. So later on, in the bonus questions, you're supposed to answer this thing here, lah, huh? Okay. And what is procurement? I think you have already understood that procurement refers to the framework, the management and framework and methods of delivering. It's a system of delivering the project from its concept to the completion. Okay, and procurement stage is actually refer to the part that when the project is being delivered. So in your conceptual study, in the earlier stages of the project life cycle, you study the which option is the best, blah blah blah, and then there will be part that you do the design, and then there will be the part that you actually confirm that you want to procure, meaning that you want to get this project being done. Okay, and this is usually a prelude to construction. So before construction, in the delivery stage, you will have two phase. In the delivery phase, you have two stages. One is the procurement stage, and um, one is the construction stage. So in the procurement, you all can see the screen, no problem, huh? Okay. Also, in the procurement stage, basically, where does procurement start? Usually, in fact, if you look at the this framework, this procurement framework, it will start off from requirement cycle. So it means that you have to do your, like how in the earlier stage you actually do your project environment scan, and then from your project environment scan, you actually know what is the requirement, what is the project all about, and then you also study the options and what is the best options, and then you study value engineering and all that, and then confirm that this is the item that you want to deliver. So there's a point that when you confirm that this is the item that you want, and then you understand what is going on in what is the requirement of the project, and this is when you actually start your procurement. So once the design is done, or when the concept is complete, you can actually move on to start your procurement already. Okay, so the contracting, the whole procurement cycles of framework, we call this a framework, will start from a requirement cycle. So it goes back to you looking at your project brief, understanding your project brief, and then understanding the nature of your project, the characteristic of your project, what does it require, what is the requirement, what is, like you draw your project environment scan with the center project information, followed by, project information, organization information, and all that. And then the second external circle is the local factor, like local authority regulations requirement, and then geographical factors, site access, etc., etc. That is on the second layer. And then on the last layer is the national and is the external factor, and such as global economy, such as acts, health, law, regulations, and that is surrounding the projects, and then also international issues as well. So these are the project scan. So from your project scan, you actually understand your requirement. Of course, when you come to requirement cycle, we will go back to look at your Jalangan course and technical CTK, or you can look at your project brief, you can look at the design, etc. So those project information you have to compose. So when you do that, is why for some project, if it's under consultant, this is the time that they will be starting to prepare the documents for tendering. Okay, and this is the requirement cycle that they are preparing those documents. And it's not directly go to tendering, but they will treat it like preparation for tendering, and they will treat it as, like procurement. That is the start of procurement for a lot of people. But actually, like I said, when they're preparing that document, when they are looking through the requirement and all that, that is already we are doing that requirement cycle already. Okay, so we are here in this requirement cycle. Understand? So then once you look at requirement cycle, we will start to look at the requisition. Requisition, initiating requisition. And this is the part that we have to determine your procurement strategy. So with this requirement for the project, this is the root, these are the character, this is the nature of the project. So we need to find a strategy that suits, our our project, the nature of our project. And that is already covered in the pre-recorded lecture, whereby we talk about different procurement strategy, like traditional general contracting. We talk about design and build, turnkey, and concessional contract, and then the more modern one like joint venture, PFI, PPP, project partnership, project public-private partnership, and then we talk about private financing initiatives, A concessional contract is a build, own, operate, transfer, build, operate, transfer. So anything under this build on something, something, or build on maintenance, transfer, all these things are concessional strategies. Okay, the TGC traditional way is really the client engage a consultant to design, and then the client will engage a contractor to build. Okay, that is called traditional general contracting, or TGC. Okay, and then or you have design and build, which is taking the design away from the client, and then the contractor will be in charge of doing the design and then confirming on all the design, and then they will do the calculation of the cost and all that and make it into a proposal. And then if the client accept that proposal through competitive tendering or whatever, they will get the project and they will build according to their own design. Okay, so that is design and build. So design and build is very fixed, design and build, but turnkey is a lot more. Turnkey is like even land acquisition, even like maintenance, even then, between design and build, even conceptualization, all the way to the client owns the project, turn the key, owns the project. This is turnkey. Okay, and then so these are considered as under more, this is a bit like more traditional kind of method of procurement strategies or procurement method. Then you have the more modern one, like what I said just now, concessional. Concessional means that the client will not have money to build. They will let the contractor build, and own it and operate it, and then 30 years later transfer it back to the client. Okay, and then there will be special like public private financing initiatives, meaning that they will actually create like is PFI, PPP, and JV. These are usually joint like an effort between together. It's like there will be a new vehicle. This government agency and government infrastructure project will work together with the private sector, and the private sector usually will actually put up some form of money. They will put up some model to build it, and then in return for something else, you see. So that depends on what is the in return. Sometimes it can be in return for maintenance, it can be in return for owning the project, collecting tolls, and all kind of thing. And then it also could be like in exchange or something. So the government may exchange it with land or whatever. So it's like arrangements between like a partnership, like in a way, between the government and the private sector in order to build facilities. And usually that will means that in the requirement cycle, you find that it's very expensive project, really, really high level or high tech, or it takes a lot of money to build and the government don't have that money. The agency don't have the money, so they will go on that kind of procurement strategies. So again, you can see that in this cycle, you first of all have to understand your requirement first. So then from your requirement, you are playing those mix and match game. So the three things that needs to be mix and match. The first two things is the procurement strategies followed by the contract type. Okay. And why is that important? Because you know, when you want to buy, you just imagine yourself wanting to buy some gadgets or you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house or you want to buy laptop or handphone. First of all, you need to know your requirements. So you're the client. Okay. So then from your requirement, maybe how much money you have, how much resources you have, and what kind of level of product that you want. Is it like a high end, or is it going to be just average, or what kind of functions do you want from your product, and how you're going to use the product and all that kind of things. So from the requirement cycles, you need to determine what is the best procurement strategies. The procurement strategies is like, are we just going to buy? Are we confirmed going to buy it? And then and that is the first questions normally. So if we say, yeah, confirm, we're going to go for it, we're going to procure it, which is whereby the requisition is initiated. This speak here about requisition is initiated. Then this is the part that you need to say, hey, what is that relationship between the you're going to put the relationship between the client and the builder. Okay. So in this case, is that what is going to be your supplier and your relationship? So are you going to do like I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of procurement strategies you have with buying cars and all that. But it's usually just to get a loan, you know, and all that kind of things. So it's going to be a direct sales, maybe. So that traditional general contracting is like a direct sales. You pay, you pay for my service, you pay for my product, you take the product, in the end you pay me, for example. There will be other strategies such as like loans from the shop. So a lot of shops nowadays, to encourage sales, they will give you loans, like a 3-month loans, and that loan can be you pay 3 months and then after that you own the thing, or you can take the thing home, but then you must have some form of guarantor that you're going to be paying for the next 12 months or something. Or you can use credit card, or you can use online transfer. So there's a lot of mode of procurement. This is not, you have to be very careful. Procurement is just basically what is your trading relationship, okay, about. So that will means who has more authority, who has more responsibilities and all that. So I think we explain in the overall framework that they are owner, which is the client, design professional, which is the consultant, and the main contractor and the subcontractor under him. So these people needs to be in a relationship with one another for you to carry out the project and finish a project. Okay, so over the period of time, they will have a very short-term relationship, meaning that it's going to be a contractual relationship among them. Okay, and this contractual relationship is like parties, between parties. Like, so now the owner engaged the design professionals and they will be the one designing, and then the owner will maybe have their own supplier, so they will have their supply. So depending on how you're arranging that relationship, and the contractor may just be the work contractor, only the client fully supply the material. And then, or it could be very, very traditional, whereby the owner directly look for the contractor and they will engage the contractor to do supply delivery, or they can do design and build, ask the contractor to design and build, you see. So when the owner work with the supplier and then they have a private relationship, they can have a JV relationship with the professional and the supplier, or with the supplier only, then that could be in a way like like a partnership mode, or a long-term, a very long-term partnering mode kind of thing with the supplier. And then they are invested in the whole thing is invested, that two person are together investing in the project, then they'll engage the main contractor. Okay, or the client can JV with other people, like work together with other people to own the project. Like, for example, I will give you the expertise, the other one will give all the management skills and all that, so they can together engage the main contractor to finish the project, for example. So again, when we talk about procurement strategies, it's about how we're going to be arranging these people, who is going to be in which relationship. So procurement strategies basically state down the relationship among the parties, the main parties to the project. Understand or not? Don't get confused. Okay, so I want you to be very clear. When we talk about procurement strategy with a procurement method, it is the first item in the requisition cycle that you need to think about. Okay, so you need to think about this requisition cycle. The first thing is, with this nature, with this character, what is the first, how are we going to arrange that relationship between everybody here? Okay, then we go further. Now we want to see, so now the client has the money, no money, the designer want to invest or not, the contractor want to invest or not. There is many way of holding that relationship, that contractual relationship later on. Okay, so they'll be working together in a way lah, huh? But when you're working together, it's not going to be just that, or talk only, or let's have a relationship. It's not like that. Okay, so you need to really sit down and work out on what are the procurement strategies that is the best of arranging these people in a certain manner, because different procurement strategy will give power to certain group of people. They will give certain responsibility to certain group of people. So it's actually important for them to see and understand that relationship among themselves. Okay. And then, of course, then after that, I think we've kind of explained that in the overview of the procurement management. I think if you look back at the pre-recorded lecture, I think this is all what I'm talking about is all day already, lah. Huh? So then after that, after you know the procurement strategies, it's like, okay, now you know how you want to buy your computer. You're going to directly go and purchase, which is the direct TGC method. Okay, so what is the payment mode like? So the payment mode are usually dependent on what we call the contract type. Okay, and so sorry, contract type. Okay, so contract type. Okay, so whatever procurement strategies that you adopted, the relationship will be already created, and then you need to have a formal contractual arrangements, and this is modern society way of doing things, you know. So, but this contractual agreement essentially it's not only about the terms and conditions and all that. It's more on the how these two will continue to behave with one another. Okay, and contract type will list down who is responsible for what, you know, and then um who is supposed to pay when, you know, when are you going to deliver, you know. So it's not going to be a verbal, I mean, it's not going to be something that is like, I mean, sometimes people confuse between contract type and procurement method. Okay, this one is procurement method, like I said, it's just a formal concept of how to arrange these people together. And different procurement method will suit different contract type better. Okay. And like I said, contract type is to list down, you pick a contract that can actually have a good balance between the two parties, I mean, a few parties who are in the contract, the contracting bodies, lah, so that they are not, that there are going to be very clear, specific regulations, rules, and all that, risk, responsibilities, all attached to the contractual agreement. Okay, so I will be quickly going through this. Okay, so basically the contract type that you will see a lot on the I mean, this notes is actually for my master's class, and I think, I mean, I just want to share it with you, but I won't talk so much detail as compared to them lah, huh? Because all you need to know is to know the names, you know, and then what are they for and all that. Okay, so there are different type of contracts on the market, but the category of them are quite fixed to a few type of contract. Okay, it's just that when you want to go and purchase something, you would actually pay cash, online transfer, do installments, you know, and or whatever, you know. So this is a little bit dealing with like how in the end uh, uh how in the end the builders or the contractor will be paid in that way, you know. And the rules that has to pertain to how they will behave and how they will be paid. Okay, so we will talk about um, fixed price contract. Okay, when the price is fixed. Okay, lump sum contract. That we usually call it lump sum is one of the most common fixed price contract, and being the most basic in lump sum is lump sum itself, which is lump sum with a firm fixed price. So meaning that once you've already signed that contract, I mean, the terms and conditions inside there will be pertaining to, it will be talking about the fixed price, meaning that you finish this job, I will pay you this much. And of course, everything in between of how you should behave to do the work, and also when I'm going to pay you and how I'm going to pay you, when you're going to put in your claim and all that. So the essential thing is at the end of the day, contract type is not the terms and conditions inside. It's really that behavior. You know how the contract actually lists down the behavior, especially the the providing of the service, and then obtaining of the money, the payment. So this is the most fundamental thing the two any contract type is concerned with. So lump sum basically means that I work for you, you pay me a fixed price. At the end of the day, it's done. You know, the job is done. You need to pay me 50,000, and that's fixed at 50,000. There wouldn't be any changes to that 50,000 unless there's a very obvious deduction and variation. Deduction or addition to the project, meaning that the client still can add things, but you need to pay for the additional. Or you can deduct, confirm, I don't want to do certain thing, you can deduct it out as well. So fixed price contract cannot be changed. The price at the end of the day cannot be changed unless there is a very clear variation order, which is addition or deduction. Okay. And then lump sum with a rise and fall for provision. Usually, let me see. Okay. So lump sum with a rise and fall for provision, it can be certain part of the contract. Certain part of the contract can vary. Okay, so usually we call it provisional contract, provisional sum. So this is also okay. I think make it simple to explain this. So this lump sum, usually everything is fixed already. So, but then there will be, let's say, some part of the section like piling or certain soil test or certain soil condition thing that is related to some unknowns. So some contract may say that, okay, I can fix the price, but there will be a part that will need remeasurement, meaning that we're not sure in the end how much we will use to safeguard both of our side. Let's do a provisional lump sum, meaning that there will be a certain part of it, a very minimum part, like it cannot be the whole contract. If the whole contract is according to remeasurement, we call that a remeasurement contract. So this one is still lump sum, but it's just part of it, like one section or one or two section that needs to be checked again or remeasured again. Okay, or there will be part of it like completely refer to the schedule of rates, meaning that the certain portion there is no quantity, but you can put in the rates first. So this is what we call schedule of rates contract. Okay, so I think these are the terms that you will hear a lot, but there's a lot of confusion as well going on between all these terms. And yeah, I mean, it's not easy to understand straight away. So you may have to listen back to the lecture a little bit more at these few sections so that you all can capture it better. Okay. All right. So like I said, lump sum fixed price is really like, okay, no change until there is a specific order for change. And then if lump sum with rise and fall provision, it will usually means that there will be adjustment to the contract price at the end of the day, but that adjustment is only based on certain portion of the works. And that certain portion of the works is the rate is confirmed, but the price, the quantity is not confirmed. So you need to remeasure with the quantity. So, but then if it's a provisional lump sum with BQ, it will means that they will give you an expected quantity first. Okay. If they don't even give you the expected quantity first, they will just want you to fill up the rate for certain part of the job that is not confirmed yet. It could be potentially be like that. There's design of different buildings, and some buildings are already done, but some buildings are not. So they may want to just put in the schedule of rates. That part is related to some schedule or rates contract. Okay, so meaning that schedule of rate contract means that you are only going in with the rate. And this can be done, not only for engineering contract, even like people who are cutting grass, who are doing service, they don't have the lump sum of work, but then you can have the schedule of rate. So meaning that they will give you like people, labor, machinery per day, how much, but no quantity attached completely. And later on, when the project is done already, they will remeasure and pay according to the schedule of rates. Okay. But provisional sum is based on BQ. When you base on BQ, the quantity is there, but the quantity is not confirmed. It will be allowed for remeasurement again. But this is not a full remeasurement contract. This is only a provisional lump sum. Provisional lump sum means certain parts of it can be done. It's done like that, but the overall contract is still called lump sum. Okay. And then progressive lump sum or progressive lump sum means that the lump sum will be added on bits by bits, meaning that in the end, like I said, there may be phases. So the whole project is break up into 3 phases. So provisional lump sum is for like, okay, progressive lump sum is okay, phase 1 is how much, and then add up with phase 2 is how much, and add up with phase 3 is how much. But the contract is signed already with this particular contractor. So it's not like, oh, I only signed for phase 1, but they signed for the whole project. It's just that the money have to be later. It's a stage, one by one stage, one stage. And then one stage, they will recalculate the cost of second stage, and then they will recalculate the cost of third stage, and then they will progressively lump sum. But in the end, the whole project is a lump sum project. Okay, right. So remeasurement contract, like I say, is basically either you have scheduled rates, okay, which is there, okay, or you can have a BQ, okay, a BQ contract with scheduled rates. It depends. So some, like I said, some grass cutting, some service kind of industry, they may just have scheduled rates contract, okay, meaning that you do how much work, then I based on a scheduled rate, I pay you. So then that is remeasurement, okay. Where if it's a BQ with scheduled rate, means that the whole, 10 BQ or 15 BQ or 8 BQ within the contract, all the sum is not confirmed. Sum as in the work quantity is not confirmed, but the rates are confirmed. So meaning that as you work, the payment will be carried out depending on your progress, depending on the work that you've done, the quantity of work that you've done, times it with the rate that you put down, either in the BQ or at BQ with schedule rate or completely scheduled rate. Okay. All right. So this is remeasurement, and this is usually sometimes confused with this one, the lump sum with rise and fall. Okay. Okay, so that one is usually we call it provisional. Provisional is only part of it. Remeasurement is entire project. Okay. Then, of course, we can have a reimbursement contract. Reimbursement contract is not remeasurement contract. Reimbursement contract is basically the client is charging some form of, the client has no idea what to do, but they need to start the job very fast. It can be fast track project, and what they do is they will put in the cost. So when you hear reimbursement contract, most likely it is related to some cost plus, meaning that the client asks the contractor to calculate the cost of the project. Just the cost. You're not going to give your profit. You're not going to do anything, but you give me bills, like you give me invoices. You order concrete, then you give me the concrete invoice. I will pay the concrete bill. You give me the steel bars bill, I will pay you the steel bars bill. So you order the material, the labor, everything, as you go along, and you give that bills to your client, and they will plus a fee. So meaning that they will plus 5%, they will plus 10%, incentive fees, or they can pass a fixed fees that, okay, the whole entire project in the end, we will actually reimburse you 500,000. Okay, that's cost plus. Or they can say, okay, for your fixed fees plus something else as well, like we can give you a fixed fee plus 2% management fees, for example. So that is how the contract is being done. So when the design is there, the contractor will build, and then that month, all the bills that we give to the client will pay, and then that month, pro ratally, how much is their fixed fees? Then they pay the fixed fees or the percentage fees, and then plus maybe another percentage for management, for example. So in the end, the margin, the what the contractor get in the end, what they earn, and what they earn will be at the fee speed, like the plus speed, cost speed, they cannot earn. But then again, that is not necessarily true, because if you're not, that's why this type of contract is very, very rarely used in Malaysia, because first of all, that would mean that your job is not completely designed yet, and there will be a lot of unknowns yet. But a lot of the oil and gas project actually use this sort of method. Okay, they use this sort of method, and yeah, yeah. So what happened is when they like oil and gas, because like I said, there's a lot of things that is unknown, like they were based on, like, the service on drilling, or the service or whatever, the machinery, etc., and then they will plus the contractor with some fixed fees. But there are a few projects that is done with cost plus in Malaysia, and they actually fail completely for construction. This is one of them is like some some university punya hostel ka, or some university punya center ka atau apa, and then I think that one was failed miserably because first of all, some people will say cost plus, they can pack up with the supplier and then the supplier will give them a bill that is a lot higher. Like for example, like concrete, like 250 per meter cube. So I'll get my supplier to do a bill of 300 ringgit. And then when he received the money, you and I will share the money kind of thing, and then you still get the fixed fees. And the other thing is when the fixed fees comes in, cost plus contract usually means that there's a lot of things that is unknown and you don't know how long the project will be ongoing. So there is no fixed schedule to it because once the design is done, you build. Once the design is done, you build. Once the design is done, you build. So it can go on forever and ever. So when you put an incentive fees or a percentage fees, then most contractor will say, oh, I have no job at the moment, so I just stay on this side and slowly do my things. And every month I get a fixed fee, or every month I get a fixed percentage of the work that I've done, you see. So they are actually quite happy continuing endlessly working in the project that way. So then you cannot blame them also because really a lot of components, a lot of design, a lot of things are not there yet. So we have to stay in this site and get ready for you. So you have to pay us, you see. So I think reimbursement contract is what we call the cost plus contract. So you will hear the word cost plus. Okay. So like I said, fixed price, this is fixed for price contract. So we usually have lump sum with provisional, progressive lump sum. And then we also have remeasurement contract, which we sometimes call it a BQ contract or a schedule rate contract. Okay. And or BQ rate with schedule rate contract. Okay. So I think this is a lot of times that people are confused with the terms here. Again, as you work or as you go into IDP2, you will get clearer and clearer. So schedule rate is usually just a rate, a table of rates. Okay, they are different from BQ. Okay, so both have rates, but schedule rate is general rates. General rates. BQ rate is based on the quantity that you have in the BQ, but both are rates. Okay. And that is where some people are confused. Yeah, but BQ contract with schedule rate is quite common, or we call it BQ contract. These are all remeasurement contracts. Schedule rate contract is also a remeasurement contract. Like I said, not likely applicable to us in Malaysia in construction, but a lot in like grass cutting, service, repair, maintenance, they will have a schedule of rate contract, which is also still engineering, which is still also construction, but it's a different, not a direct construction kind of thing, but it could be in a maintenance contract. We have a schedule of rate contract. So again, we can see that, you need to match your different type of contract with different procurement strategy. Some procurement strategy works better with certain contract type. TGC definitely will work quite well with lump sum, okay? Lump sum or lump sum provisional. But then if you talk about design and build, then you may want to consider BQ contract, okay? If you talk about turnkey, you may have to end up with like something like a cost plus, you see. So depending on the nature of your job, depending on the nature of your project, the location, the paying, how much to pay, like what kind of amount of money involved, and if the client are able, if the client themselves have the resources, then different procurement strategy will suit them better, and different procurement strategy will suit with different contract type better. And then lastly, we also have the incentive-based kind of contract, which is telling the contractor that they agree on a certain amount first, but then if you can save, if you can drop below certain amount, then we will share risk, you see. You will share the risk with me, but you also share the profit with me. So maximum guarantee price and targeted cost is also the typical incentive-based kind of project. So maximum guarantee price is that you agree on a price, and after that, anything below it you will save. And then when you save below that, you save, like let's say you save 10%. So there will be a agreement like, okay, from this 10%, the contractor will take 70%, or they will take like 50-50. So they have already got that agreement on GMP. Targeted cost means that they're all going to target a certain cost. Okay, target a certain cost. To keep the cost at that particular level, and if they can reduce the cost, then the savings again will be shared between the contractors and the client. There will usually be some form of agreement of how to share the profit, but This may work if you're doing JV, if you're doing PFI, if you're doing public-private partnership, partnering, JV, joint venture between the two, PFI. So these are the incentive-based contract may work better for that type of procurement strategies. Okay, so I think essentially, we also in the notes here go through exactly like lump sum contract, fixed price. Like these are, this is actually some explanation which I've already explained just now, and then of course you will put in some advantages, disadvantages, when to use it is better, and that kind of thing. Okay, and then remeasurement contract, remeasurement contract, reimbursement contract. Reimbursement contract is here, sorry. So reimbursement contract, then what type of reimbursement contract, what is it all about? It's just something that I've already explained to you just now in the class. I mean, what, as we're going through, what is it, what is it that we are looking at? What is the different type of contract that is available? And then of course we will go for the advantage, disadvantage, that kind of things, huh? Okay, so I think this one here, you just read through, okay, read through. There will be a question on procurement, meaning that you need to know the procurement strategies, what are the advantages, disadvantages. You also need to know, at least know 2 or 3 procurement strategy, at least know 2 or 3 type of contract, and what are the advantages and disadvantages, and how does it function, how does it work, And I mean, like, at least you must know what is lump sum fixed price, what is lump sum provisional, what is remeasurement, what is cost plus, and what are they good for, what is their purpose, what is their benefit, and what is their disadvantages, So if you are to do your own notes, okay, prepare for exams, do your own notes. This will be the tips that I'm giving you here now. So get ready to write down, different procurement strategies, and how does it work? Okay, maybe a few sentences about how does it work, and then what kind of project is suited for that, and how they are not to say suited lah. I mean, like, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and therefore what are they most suited for, and all that. I think you can do some research as well on that. So it cannot be like fully everything you just read from the notes, and study from the notes. The notes is just a complement here, for everybody to yeah, I mean, it's a very complimentary thing here lah, that we are doing. Yeah. I mean, like, it's also the class, the notes is there, but I say you must do some self-study to add on to your knowledge, so that you can do better in exams in a way. Yeah. Okay. Mm. Okay, so then what about the other portion? Story not finished yet, other lagi, huh? Okay, so procurement cycle, once you have determined your procurement strategies, half of it will be procurement strategies, half of it will be contract type. So get that ready, study that, like, even if you need to read more materials, go online and all that, go and look at that. Okay, so that is the concept of requisition cycle. So once you've confirmed on what kind of method, what kind of strategies that you're going for, now you need to prepare all the documents. And documents, this is whereby the requirement document and the requisition documents are being prepared, because contract type that you pick will determine on the type of contract, that the terms and condition within the contract. So let's say if you pick TGC, there will be available standard form of contract, which or there will be available sample of contract that is already legally being used in Malaysia, or you can draft your whole contract and then send it to the legal office. If your company has a legal team, they will review the terms and conditions. Okay, so Then, of course, you need to prepare the drawings, the specification, the quality statement, and then also you need to prepare the timeline, and also the potential, the budgeting, your definitive estimates and all that. So these 2 cycles here, when you've done that, it's a lot of work, it's honestly a lot of work. And that's why consultant, if the consultant is engaged to do that, then it's going to be quite a few months sometimes for them to prepare documents. But sometimes like JKR, like that, you have your own internal team. Also, they can actually, small projects, they will do their own requirement and requisition cycles all the way to the different contracts and review by the legal team and the QSs and everything all together. Okay. And then once this is done, we are moving into the solicitation cycle. This is the time that you've got documents ready, you've got your strategies already, the documents are ready, the documents including the contract, the terms, the conditions, the drawings, the specifications, the quality plan, the budget, the definitive estimates, and the estimated time, like what you guys do for IDP. Like some people ask me, IDP, how do I determine at this stage here, you haven't done the design. How do you know that you have done? How do you know that, how to calculate with your production rate, because you don't have the full quantity yet. So you can't. The answer is you can't. Okay, but you can do the general ones. So here, of course, if the design is already done, then you can do your definitive estimates. That is how you can do your calculation. Okay, and the calculation of your time as well is also definitive, because this is really not the time. Like if the quantity is ready, then we can actually do a proper scheduling. But all this we may have to leave it to the contractor to do, because they are the one who's going to carry out the job and sequence the activity and all that, and then propose the cost and all that. So engineers, you can be working for the contractor side, you can working for the designer side. So all this method you must know, because in the end, you don't know who you'll be working with. Are you going to be with the developer? Are you going to be with the client? Are you going to be with the contractor? Are you going to be with the consultant? You see? So as much as possible in project management class, everybody needs to know project management, because at every cycle and every stages, there will be engineers available to actually manage all these things. So now everything is done already. Okay, the documents are ready. So you call up and say, hey, I've got this project here. Who is interested to do the project for me? So I am you're inviting, request for proposal. So you see this line here? This is initiation already. You're initiating tender. You're initiating proposal. You're initiating bid. Okay, or you're initiating quote. The thing here is quote, proposal, bid. Okay, tender. So depending, all this word means the same thing. It means that you are asking somebody to give you a price, to offer themselves based on the documents that you have, to do the work for you for a certain amount of money. Okay, or it could be a proposal, like design and build and turnkey. It could be proposal based. So if it's proposal based, then you need to give them time, like your IDP, do the IDP and then propose to the client, and the client will pick which proposal they like better, for example. Okay, and that is very possible, very possible. A lot of projects, especially some specialty projects, they are going by proposal. So then you move into the solicitation cycle, and this is whereby we call it tendering cycle, or tendering stage of the project, or the solicitation cycle. Okay, so solicitation cycle. Why did I close this? Okay, so solicitation cycle. Okay, this is the part that we start the solicitation process. Your solicitate means that you go and get it. So you're actually sending the invitation out to your tenderer, your bidder, your proposals, and then you send out the you send out the request and see who gives you back, and then you assess it and then pick the right person to do the job. Okay, so once you finish your tendering cycle, then you are in the award cycle, whereby you award the project to the right person or the right group of people to do the work for you. Okay, and then the whole contractual cycle will start. And that is why you see the way that I draft the lecture is in such a way that we finish procurement. Then after procurement is award. You award the job to the contractor, and then the contractor will be in construction and the contract management will start. So once you finish procurement, tender is done, award letter is given out, then there's 2 things that you need to manage. One is construction. So after we finish this class, we'll move up to construction management. Dr. Sukri one is chun in between. That is because of our scheduling. That one is nothing to do with the flow. Okay. So once this is done, procurement is done, we move into construction management because we need to know practically how you manage the site. Okay. Then we also will go into contract management. So this is precisely after procurement. And procurement does not end there when you award the letter, because procurement is at the end of the day, you need to deliver the project. So construction part, you need to manage. Manage it physically, manage it contractually. So there's two elements here. And that will be the last of our classes, construction management and contract management. Okay. So I hope you can see the flow of how I designed this course for you all. Huh? Okay, so what is tender? Okay, what is tender? Tender is basically an offer lah, huh? It's an offer. Somebody offer to do this job for you to carry out the contractual obligation to complete the project or part of it for a period of time, and they will act according to the contract, and then they need to get the money returned. Okay, so tender, bahasa sebut harga, okay, which is quite frequently used, sebut harga. And then so what is the stages? Okay, so basically, I mean, these are purpose, objective, and all that. I think this one we don't have to be so much long. I want to cover more on the tendering processes. So there are a few type of tendering processes. All of them are the same in a way that the purpose here is you want to get somebody to submit a quotation, submit a tender, a bid. Bid for what? Bid is, I mean, like when you say tender, bid, quotation, they are all competitive. So you want a few people to come and quote for you so that you can compare the price. Okay, you don't want to be just stuck with one, the whole Malaysia, only one contractor. Then there is a monopoly business. Then it's hardly that you're going to ever to get a good price for your project. So open tender is very open. It means that you will put in advertisement somewhere. It can be online. It can be your own company advertisement. It can be some blasting of some invitation to everybody who has the specific license to do the job. So you will specify in your sebut harga, kenyataan sebut harga, that you need somebody who is like the statement of tender, that you need somebody with a Class B license, with what subhead and what head, and do they have the PKK license or UPK license. UPK is the state license and the PKK is the whole Malaysian national license. So then you need to state it down. And then what do you mean by head and subhead? Because every class is only determined on the money that you are using, that you're going for. Like B class is 5 million and above, 5 million or so. C is like 2 or 1 million and around 1 or 2 million. And then A is 5 million and above. And then if you triple A, it's like you can do like, unlimited kind of job, okay, limited price kind of job. So then you have head and subhead means that, you can do category of work, building work, civil work, and then under different heads, you have different subheads. So even like underwater works, you have subheads, subhead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each subhead will say, okay, you can do pipeline, or you can do drilling, or you can do drilling of pipeline, you can do laying of pipeline, or you can do like high level tank. You can also do water related structure. That one is subhead. So they will have subheads underneath, meaning that category of work and all the smaller specialization. So you can set that down in your requirements. So you kenyataan sebut harga and say, hey, look, I've got this project and I need this type of contractor. Whoever has that license, you can come and quote for us. So then you need to prepare a lot of items, a lot of quotation. I mean, you need to prepare a lot of BQs and documents. That's why you need a lot of documentation, and the requirement that you have, the drawing, specification, everything, and all the contract documents. Now it's going to be photocopied into many. Whoever is coming to say that I'm interested in your work, can I get the documents from you? You need to hand over the documents to them. Usually there'll be some deposit lah. Deposit means that deposit and a cost for printing. So deposit means that the contractor needs to pay like 5,000 or 1,000 deposit just to get the tender. And then if they don't tender later on, they forfeit the deposit. So once they tender and they didn't win, they can get back the deposit. But then the document fees is really document fees, means that they have to pay to purchase those tender, the documents. So there'll be two costs involved here. So then these contractors, they will come, they're all qualified people, so they will, check their thing, and then check their documents, read the documents, do the measurement, and then they will set the price and fill up all the parts that they need to fill up, and then baru tender. Then they will put it they will come back at a specific time and location. They will come back. It will be stated in the document that everything needs to be returned back on the 15th of January. The tender will close at 12 p.m. You need to submit the tender to tender box where, in whose office. Is it going to be like a government department, or is it going to be like DID office, Sarawak Water's office, or is it going to be like developer's office? And then who we're going to submit to, and you cannot submit late. Once you submit late, you'll be forfeited. Usually, we cannot allow that because there's a time to, it's called notice to the tenderer. So you need to follow the notice because we need to be very fair to everybody. It's a very fair game. Like if let's say if you're 15 minutes that you may receive some insider information about other people's costs, and then you change your cost, and it's not fair for other people. So the time that you have must be very, very fixed. Never be late when you're submitting tender. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, you tell them that your car break down, you tell them that you want to beranak also, you're pregnant and you can't climb the stairs, also you cannot. You have to, this is your responsibilities as a contractor to submit the tender on time, okay, and before the closing time and closing date. Then open tender is just basically like that. It's open to everybody. Okay, then you may have something called selective tendering. Selective tendering is whereby you are actually just invite, it's by invitation. Not everybody can come and come and tender. Even if you have the right license, I may not want you. Okay, so I will say I want to have B license or whatever, but I will invite those people to come. So I will shortlist an approved list of 5 supplier, 5 contractors or whatever. Then they will come and tender according to my notice. The rest of the things are the same, but the only difference is open is anybody, you shout and everybody can come. This one here is you pick the people that you may want to have. So instead of like going through 16 or 20 documents, this is only specifically, I'm only picking 6 that has very good reputation to do the work. Okay, and then accordingly, they will just tender according. I mean, like the rest of the processes are the same. They will tender accordingly. Okay, to the documents, everything they will put in the price, everything. Then the rest of the process is you still have to come back at what time and all that. Not because of you're invited, you get a special leeway and all that. No, it is still exactly the same thing. Okay. So open is just that anybody can come. Selective is means that you select first. Okay? Then there will be something, there can be something called pre-qualification as well. Okay, so pre-qualification is pre-qualification is like before you even invite certain people, you can actually how do I put this? If you can actually ask them to submit their CV, submit their documents first, okay? Like submit their ability, their bank punya documents, their company punya how do I put it? Their company punya ability, capacities, how many engineers they have, how many machinery, how many labor, what kind of model they have, and all these are essentially all these are essentially that one they will put in we call it pre-qualification tender. So you ask certain people to submit pre-qualification first, or it can be open pre-qualification. So say, whoever has this can come and submit to show your interest. Then from there you do selective. So pre-qualification can be part of selective. It can be also an open one, meaning that you open to ask whoever is qualified to come and try, but give your CV only. give your capacity only, give your qualification only. Then after that, I will select who I want to invite. Okay, or it can be a direct pre-qualification, meaning that you already select 10 people that you feel like is possible. Then they send in their pre-qualification documents, qualification documents, then you check, and then in the end, you only invite 5. Okay, so this is the few common ones that we will use. So at your level, at your stage, we will talk about open tender, selective tendering, pre-qualification first, and then open or selective. Open, or you can go for pre-qualification, open, and selective. Okay, and the last type or more, not the last, there's other type, but maybe not so applicable to you all at the moment. Okay, but just get to know, negotiated tender is whereby you actually just get quotation from certain people, certain specialist contractor, and then they will quote and propose. They will do proposal usually, and then after that you negotiate. So usually negotiated tendering is usually with one specialist or with like 3, not many. Compared to selective is a lot less, but selective compared to open tender is also a lot less. Okay, so if you're looking at open tender, it sometimes can go up to 20, 15, 16, but selective tendering, the maximum you probably do selective is probably 8, 5, 8, like that, and whereby negotiated most likely is going to be only 3, 2, 3 maximum. Yeah, so that is negotiated. This is the part that you will put in the proposal, and then they will sit down and go through with you each and every part until they will negotiate every element to see what is the best for their company and what is the best that you can do for us, and every part is through negotiation. Whereby selective open tender, this sort of tendering is that at the end of the day, when their selection, right, is already, there's a proper selection criteria that you need to fulfill: the pricing, the capacities, the offer, the brands that they're offering, the parts that they're offering. There's a very specific rubrics, that most company will have actually. You see, the process here is yeah. So there is selection criteria. So when you do evaluation of tender, these are the elements that you'll be evaluating. But for, let's say, open and selective, you basically have that rubrics already, whereby when you do negotiated tendering, it's still that ongoing, like, talking and, like going through the documents, and then, like looking at the proposal, looking at the creativity, looking at the design, and a lot of elements is still not so specific. Like when this is a station, you're evaluating the tender lah, evaluation bit lah. Like I said, when you do selective and open tender, the evaluation is very direct. Okay, it's very direct, whereby it's just basically client based. But whereby if you do negotiated tendering, yes, you still have this element, but a lot of things is based on, like talking to one another, sitting on a table, compromising, and then who is to give what, can you do more, can you do, I can't, and all that. And then the final evaluation is really based on what is the most important thing to the client. Is it the design? Is it the creativity? Is it the specialization, etc., etc.? So tender evaluation, like I said, you're only evaluating 2 or 3. Then it's not so, you spend a lot longer with each one of them. Whereby selective and open tender, you really have the rubrics, and then the whole team, like the board of directors, will sit down, they will book out the tender, and then they will fill up, each category, like what this is proposed by which tenderer A, tenderer B, tenderer C, and tenderer D and F. So they will put down what they have offered, and then they will go through the evaluation. They won't even talk to the tenderer. It's whatever you offer, we are assessing it, and that's it. We are going to pick accordingly. Whereas tender evaluation for this one is negotiated tendering is more like keep on one-to-one, like negotiate until we are both happy with whatever that you can offer us. Okay, so then this is the part that you need to know, tendering criteria also. Then you select the successful bidder, And then once you've selected the successful bidder, they've covered everything that I think the maximum highest mark guy, you get to be selected. And then after that, you will give out a letter of intent. Letter of intent is like saying that, okay, uh, uh, you are successful, okay, you are successful, but we are not going to, I mean, we haven't fully decided yet, but just let you know that you are successful. Then you can have a letter of award, okay. This is letter of award lah, we call it letter of award lah, okay. Yeah. So letter of acceptance is like directly issue to the tenderer and tell them that you are okay. It should be a letter of award first and then followed by letter of acceptance. So when you say letter of award, it means that I award you to the I award you to the project. So letter of acceptance is could be like, sometimes we give letter of intent and then you say, you win, do you want it? So then you can say, yes, I want it. I sign back and say I want it. Then you give a letter of award, okay? Or you can directly give a letter of award. Once you give the letter of award, you can also return a letter of acceptance, no doubt about that. But letter of award and letter of intent, letter of acceptance is really from the contractor, whereby letter of intent and letter of award is essentially from the client. Okay, so the client letter of intent has no legal implication. It's just telling you that congratulations, you're successful. That's all, But letter of award is I'm awarding you with a scholarship, for example, and that one has a legal intention, meaning that if you book your flight ticket, if you're going to go and get the award and all this thing, all the cost is there already. You start to mobilize everything, then they have to pay you. It's like a quasi contract. There is element of contract that is already there in letter of award, but it's not there in letter of intent, ladies and gentlemen. Both can be replied with letter of acceptance, okay? So like I said, it can be letter of intent, letter of acceptance, and letter of award. Or it can be directly letter of award, letter of acceptance. It's just like offer, acceptance. I offer you to do this, and then I accept it, okay? So that is legally binding. So when you have an award and an acceptance, that is really a legal relationship being formed already. And then that is why a letter of award has a quasi-contractual effect, whereby letter of intent, no. Okay. And so to form a contract legally in Malaysia, in the Contract Act, you need to have formal acceptance and you have to have formal offer and acceptance, or offer, acceptance, and counter offer and acceptance. So there must be an acceptance in the picture, followed by something of value passing the through of you, meaning that there will be some money, something dollars and cents. It cannot be, I'm doing you a free service, It is not. A contract has to be based on something of value that is in exchange. And then you must be of legal age to do contract, which is over 18 in Malaysia. You cannot be a minor. You must be clear. Your mind must be clear. You must be not under force or undue influence and all that. There must be an intention to create a legal relationship. So that's why we come to the award stage. So when you have already been awarded a project, the letter of award comes out. So this award cycle is complete. And the award cycle will definitely have to end up with signing of contract. And that can only be correct, that can only be legally recognized in the eyes of Malaysia if you are planning to sign the contract at the later date. Okay, so later of award will be followed. It will be complete negotiation, come up with letter of intent, letter of award, letter of acceptance, and then sign the contract, prepare the contract and sign the contract. Then kita baru move on into the contractual cycle, which is together with the construction management cycle. Okay, so I think with that kind of more or less end our procurement class. So this whole cycle, the flow of it is like that. From requirement to requisition, whereby you determine the procurement strategies, the contract type, prepare the documents, and go into solicitation. You pick the right tendering strategies that is suitable for your project, and do the tender evaluation, call for the tender, evaluate the tender. Then after that, complete the negotiation, award the project, and under the awardance you have the letter, and then you have the signing of the contract, and then move on to the contractual cycle. How interesting is that? Have you all been? I mean, I love procurement management. I think every part of procurement management actually helps to determine the success of the project. Sometimes it's not just like on-site control and monitoring. It's not only time, cost, quality, and safety. It's really what strategies that you pick, how you map out the strategies, and how you pick the right contractor, and then do the things correctly. Then you can have a good contract management cycle, then you can have a good construction management cycle. So construction management is only the later part already, which is the realization of the project. But if the initial time, cost, quality, risk, and all these procurement are not being fully strategized out fully, and it's just like hentam, 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 then you leave it to the contractual cycle people and the construction management cycle to your to wash your butt lah, basically lah, and then you expect the project to be successful. How can it be successful? It's not easy. All the initial strategizing needs to be done before things are being executed well, at the later stage. Okay. All right. So any questions so far? 58. Everyone else are so busy. Maybe I think some people are sharing computer, I hope. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Any question, ladies and gentlemen? Apa-apa yang boleh saya tolong?
No, not yet, madam.
Sorry? No question, is it?
No question.
Ayo, my laptop punya dia punya speaker are very bad, I don't know why I bought a laptop like that. Never mind. Let me. I need to have an external speaker to hear what you guys say.
Bluetooth mode.
Any questions so far?
So far, no question, doctor.
So far, no question. Good. Now I can hear better. Do. I think I think in the beginning of the beginning of the program, I've already um I've actually given you some practice class question. I mean, I really want everybody to do well. There's only 77 of you, and then if you don't do well, that's like what I do. Okay, let's do our QR code. Let me share my screen again. I'm very happy that we have some form of physical class because I know a lot of you actually ask questions, like especially after the class, and I really enjoy talking to you all. Just that sometimes I don't have that much time at the end of the class, and some people are a bit shy to come to come out in front of everybody. So by all means, come and see me in my room. I don't bite people. I mean, I can be very strict. I can not sound very nice, but generally, I think nobody die in my. Everybody still go out in one piece, huh? Just that maybe your heart a bit broken only lah, but then, never mind lah, huh? Ego is not a big issue lah. All right, if there's no more question, if you have question, I can stay back for a while. If no more question, you all can leave. And yeah, have a very Merry Christmas. And I will see you in 2026 on the 2nd.
Thank you, Doctor. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Yep, Happy New Year, and Merry Christmas, and wish for a better 2026, you all, huh? So that you all can graduate on time, huh? Make that a wish, okay? Make that a wish that everybody can do well for every subject, huh? Right. Merry Christmas, everyone. See you guys.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. And stay safe, huh, for those of you who are going somewhere. Once I've posted the notes and everything, I will let the class monitor know, huh? And the class monitor, please inform everybody that we're going to have a class on 10:30 on the 12th of January, huh? Just to catch up the last bit of the class. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year to you all too. Jingle bell, wishing you all the best. Merry Christmas. Remember Dr. Sukri's class, huh?